I always do that. What is up, everybody? Appreciate all of you for tuning in on Sunday. What is up, guys? Welcome to another Sunday night stream. I do have the what's up, Rudy? I do have the wrestling on right now. I feel like these events get longer and longer. It's been over 3 hours already. Let me pull up. How's everybody's weekend, work week looking like? I do want to. I do want to thank all the channel members that we have going on the channel. Uh, Gary Gary Carnell, D Tolls, Mark Morales, B1062, Dalwin Hooks, True Results, HTX, Brian, Chevy Runner 88, Rage Metal Freak, Lost But One, Vlazer, and the newest member, Phil Hall. What is up, everybody? Thank you for being channel members. I appreciate everybody for supporting the channel and everything that we do here. What's up, Brian? Next week is going to be hectic. Yeah, that was my bad, Jason. um, I had some calls during the week that were a little bit frustrating, but I think we finally caught up, which is weird for me to say. And I'm gonna be looking to get into maintenance this week, or yeah, this coming week, and for the next month or two, because we have a contract that gave us AC and refrigeration. So that's all the RTUs, all the walk-ins, which is like two to three at each store. No, two at each store, and then the coolers, which is the prep coolers, and basically that's it. Ready to get back to work. Vacation was nice, but I'm bored. Yeah, I don't think I can take too much time off. I like a day off here and there, but um, work is fun. I did work yesterday, half a day, and that's for a make line cooler. One of those, and I did talk about it because I did record some podcast earlier today, and I did talk to them about it. I was like, I went out there on a Friday afternoon. This thing was messing up, so I decided to go in voluntarily on Saturday morning just to get it fixed before we got busy during the week, or they call us Monday morning, because I knew something was wrong. I just didn't want to stay up late. I mean, stay there late on Friday, and it was already like 4:30. I was like, I won't take care of it today, but I'll be back in the morning. What is up, Alex? What's up, Eddie? Oh, Victor, I got your email. I've been kind of busy. I haven't gotten back to my emails this weekend, and I know Mike. I got your message too. I need to get back to y'all. Just look through the comments real quick. On call is going to be on call is going great. Sparking across America. What is up? Had a call at a chain Taco Bell, quota call. Bottom box controller and both probes. Get there. Evaporator is a block of ice. Shut it down and told him I would be back. What would I have done? It depends. Evaporator. If it's a small unit, I'll de-ice it. If you're talking about like a walk-in, oh man, it just depends. The only ones that I leave, it depends. If we're not busy, I'll stay, and then I'll just bill the whole damn day to de-ice it. But yeah, if you're busy, then I'll see you. I'll see you the next day. Not a big customer. Yeah, it just depends. And that's another thing, right? Like if because I try to tell the customer as nicely as possible, because if they treat you good, then like if they treat us good, then we treat them good, right? They're higher priority. They're one of our better customers. We take care of them when we can, and that takes into account situations like that, or just like what you were saying, that they're not a big customer, right? If and I don't want to tell them straight out like, you called this company or you did that or you didn't. I don't know, like I don't want to get into it with them, but I usually try to hint at like, you know, if you're calling us only, you give us all the calls, you pay, you don't fight every invoice, you don't hassle us if we're running late, we're busy, we schedule you for the next day. If you don't, but there's no issues, then I do a little bit more to help out those customers. If they give us trouble, if I don't really want to do the work, if they don't pay on time, they call a bunch of companies. There's a whole bunch of things that they can do to make me make them wait or put them further down the list, or things like that. So I mean that also goes into it. What kind of customer is it? Is it a really good customer, or is it one that sometimes I really don't want these customers. To be honest, there's some, yeah, there's some that like you'll take the work, but it's not worth the headache to go above and beyond. And I know I've had that conversation before with people. It's like you gotta know when to pull the rein back, and it depends on the customer. So um yeah, if they don't pay on time, if they're a pain to work with, then yeah, like true pain in the ass customers have to wait. Like I'm not in a rush to get to them, and I hate to be like that, but it's just, if they're gonna fight every invoice. We've had a customer like that before, which the guy was like, we knew the owner because he lived, or his family lived here. He was from Pakistan. Yeah, Pakistan, I think. Uh, Dude was like a millionaire, had money, had this very famous chain here, restaurants, owned the franchise here, and we got so tired of fighting with him on invoices. Like, why did you charge me for that? It's like you needed a contactor, you needed a thermostat. I was there for something else, but you needed it, right? Uh, and it's always hard to explain that. And I tried to like that call yesterday. I had to We had replaced the compressor. I didn't want to replace the compressor. I wanted them to change it out because I thought it had um, multiple issues and leaks and stuff. And they always complain. They always complain that it was never cold enough. And it's a make line, so there's basically a bottom section that's just a reach-in cooler, and then the top section is a cold rail. And if you guys work on those, sometimes the corners don't ice up evenly, and it doesn't if you're running everything on one compressor, which this is one compressor for four evaporators. If they all run at the same time, it's not very efficient. So they got to make sure that they stock them properly as well. Like there's a whole bunch of things that go into it. Versus if they buy a new one, what I've noticed is that it's three sections and 3 compressors, and these are Randell prep coolers. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? Just buy a new one, because if you guys are complaining about this cooler when it was working and now the compressor, went bad, if I put in a new compressor, you're just going to complain again. But I got busy and somehow the compressor got approved. That's what they wanted. Talked to one of the other guys, and they quoted a compressor. It got approved. Uh, they were afraid to put it in because it had a rotor lock. So that is stainless steel to copper that you got to braze or solder, and then it's a rotor lock fitting. So I was the one that went to put it in, but then I got married to it. So that's what sucked. And the issue we had is it kept icing over. It kept icing over after we put the compressor in, and it would kind of work. It was more of like an intermittent issue. So I was like, what happened? Did I overcharge it? Because the compressors were different. The new one I believe was a little bit smaller. So I was like, maybe I overcharged it, maybe something, whatever. I was like, it's not working. I did a video on it that'll come out, I don't know, in a couple weeks. And no, I on the bottom cooler, I raised the temp and I ran only the rail, which is the part that they were worried about, because we also replaced a TXV for the rail and the compressor. And that worked fine. It's when I turned on the bottom, which is like we didn't touch that part at all. But the TXV is starting to go bad there. And those are not the ones that you can rebuild. They're the Emerson. If the power head goes bad, you got to replace the whole thing. So that was just one of those, like, I had to explain to the customer, look, he's like, yeah, like, explain it to me. Like, I just want to know what's going on. I was like, you have the rail, which is one evaporator. You have another area in the middle, which is another evaporator. And in your reach-in cooler section, you got 2 separate evaporators. I was like, you have 4 evaporators for that one compressor. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to figure out which one is acting up after we put the compressor in. So that was a whole ordeal. But, back to that other customer that we had, big chain, multi-millionaire, whatever he was, and fought every invoice. We lost that customer and we were devastated. That was the one that we had all our eggs in one basket, and we lost them. And we went out and started over and got new work and all that. They came back to try and get us back. And I had like stipulations. I was like, if we work for you again, we got to address the invoice issue. We got to charge what we want to charge. They wanted maintenance contracts. I was like, we're going to, raise it from what we had before. We need a travel fee. We need this. We need that. Like, it had to be worth it for me to take them back. And they wanted us out of town and they wanted us to do a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like they always say, they always come back. So I'm pretty adamant. I don't do anything for free. I know, Victor, some people ask you for discounts even when you say it's free. I mean, yeah, they ask you for more and more and more. And typically I only, we've talked about it, I think, on nights. Like, you decide when you work for free. You decide when you want to help someone out. You don't let the customer. So if the customer never asks, never bothers about any of that stuff, then yeah, sometimes I'll do that. Like the call yesterday, I'm probably not gonna charge. Probably not gonna charge for yesterday. I was like, I just went over to look at it, and we had to make adjustments, and we got it working. I just needed to be there before they opened to do that. Yeah, jack up the price. Raise the price, give a discount, you still make more. What is up, Kitchen Cowboy? When the inspector goes to the restaurant, that's when that's when they pay without a fight. When they have inspections, you know, because the phone won't stop ringing. And and yes, they approve everything that you told them before. Like, hey, you want to get ahead of this? You want to take care of this now? Uh, Stuff that wasn't temping, walk-in doors, or this and that. When inspection hits, everything gets approved. Or they complain that they failed, and they're like, fix it now. Yeah, some people are cheap. Yeah, it's funny. It's always that joke when family or people that you know regularly, they find out you do AC work or anything, they want everything. They want you to check everything. And then you're like, "But I charged this much." Oh, you're going to I thought we were cool. You're going to charge me? Oh yeah. Well, this was the one I'm talking about that fought every invoice. That was just like um we would just bill. There was no NTEs. This was a long time ago. There was no system in place. We just billed and he paid or he wrote checks. But man, that was a hard one. Our NTEs right now are anywhere from 500 to 700, but the ones that are like 500, they're pretty easy to get approved or raised. So it's not a big issue. I just don't like when they play dumb and they take too long to raise it. And I'm like, I got to bill you guys and I have to ask several times to raise it. It's the only thing that sucks with commercial. I know some people don't. A lot of people do residential. You get paid on the spot. That's always a benefit there. Commercial is great because you get bigger tickets. Like even with what we do on my side of the business, I might not do as many calls as like the hot side guys, but my tickets end up being quite a bit, even or more to what they do with less tickets. But I have to get them approved. I have to get them raised, and that's the only part is you gotta be on top of that because if I don't get it raised, I can't even submit it. But they don't make us they don't I mean we do get verbal approval before, but we don't have to worry about like it being raised. We can do the work first and then go and tell them to raise it afterwards. So at least we're not because I've seen others that complain about having to get approval and someone on the phone before you even like touch or do the work. We can do the work and we can raise it later. That's why I don't have an issue with that $500 one. Um, but I've heard of some as low as like $250 for an NTE, which is ridiculous. That's like the amount to like show up. I've got one that owns a lot of hotels in my area, never bats an eye on how much we want to spend on their rationale. Yeah. Those are the good customers. And I'm not like saying that I need everything approved or like I don't take advantage of those customers either. Like we have a hospital that used to be like that and then they got kind of strict. Now they've been open about just if you say we need it, we'll get it. So that's been great to get back to that part where it's everything's approved, but I'm not gonna sit there and make them waste a whole bunch of money if I don't see it's worth it. So I don't take advantage of that or those kinds of customers either. But they're great because you're like, yeah, you need, the contactor, controller, this, that, and it's like, yeah, just get it. And then, we are on top of everything. We are there a lot, and they can count on us to put them priority, basically. Rationales are always gonna be fixed. Yeah, they're too expensive to replace. Bad planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on our part. How many times have I told a customer exactly what they need and they wait until inspection, like we talked about earlier, or um, till it completely goes down and it's like, well, I mean, I gotta either order parts. Nowadays, it's very common to not be able to get the parts, same day. If your supply house doesn't have it, and a lot of times they don't. I did another video where I had to order stuff, and it's like, you gotta wait sometimes a couple days at least, and that kind of sucks when you told them ahead of time that motor, that compressor sounds bad. It's not. Doesn't look like it's temping. It looks like it's struggling. Lately, I've been doing maintenance now, and the calls right before that was I get called out because something's down. Restaurant is hot, lobby is hot, and their customers, they're people that go to dine in are leaving because it's too hot. And I was like, yeah, I told you. Because I get there and it's just a dirty coil or something. And it's like, yeah, I told you, or I told you about that duct that's falling apart. And now you gotta wait. I'm considering moving out there to the Rio Grande Valley. Should I be worried about wage as a commercial HVAC guy? Depends on where. Oh, Jason's trying to recruit. It depends on where you came from and what you were making. And then you have to take into consideration the cost of living. It is cheap to live here. Anybody making like, I don't know, a grand a week is going to be well off. Um, it just depends on what you were making before. Like here, 20s and 30s are like an hour are considered really good. So if you're like an apprentice or somebody a little bit newer, you're gonna make less than 20 an hour. And if you have experience, you might get that 20, and then you can build on it. And it also depends on the company. Um, your family, your family's in McAllen. Also depends on the company because I've seen some that just they don't want to pay, and they get those people in their trucks that don't know anything, but they'll take a cheap check. But yeah, it just depends because like our gas is like $2 a gallon, 250 at most. Housing here is super cheap. They're building a crap ton of apartments and houses here. Like it's growing a lot here, but it's always been really cheap to live here. I know it's gone up, but like let me just in perspective. When my son was born, I bought a house for $100,000, and it was a 2-story, 2,500 square foot house. I've seen a couple of applied guys here in Lexington, but always scared to talk to them. I'm gonna go to my home office soon to figure out what my new title is gonna be. The owner was throwing around director of training, but I don't think that would be the final title. He's got a couple locations that are a couple hours away, and he only wants us to say no problem when we say it'll be $700 to walk in the door. My main account, just fixed, no questions asked, up to a logical point, of course. Happy with residential. Lost my wife as I was hurrying out the door. What is up, Nasty? Oh yeah, anywhere north of here, even San Antonio, Austin, all those areas up there, because like we are completely um all the way south. So if you guys think of San Antonio, just think like 4 hours south of that. That's why it's so cheap here, and yeah, it's very different from here to San Antonio or Austin. Like the cost of living is way more up there. I know nothing about chillers, only basics. I had a guy that I run into because I was working on I think I was just working on an AC unit RTU system, and it was at a place that I have to get like special access to the roof, and there's a rack system up there, and the guy was working there on like a new system, a new little. To me, there were little chillers, or little rack systems, and we were talking. And I wanted to know what he was doing, so I asked him what he was doing. We talked for a little bit, and we're talking about work and finding good techs and all that kind of stuff. And the dude was trying to offer me a job, and I was like, "I'm sorry, man. I work for myself." And he's like, "Damn it." He's like, you seem like you know what you're talking about. It's hard to find. He was upset with some of the guys that he was working with, and I guess he was like in charge of them. And yeah, I mean, if you honestly, I think a lot of places would take anybody. Chillers are just giant water fountains. If you can, make the effort to learn, because they're gonna obviously have to train you up. What is up, Ethan? How are you? Freon Leon in the house. Jesus, what is up? I'm doing pretty good. Had a day off. I had a day to rest today. I worked yesterday. Probably gonna work tomorrow. I got maintenance coming up. Hopefully, it's a easy week. 'Kay. 18 to 25 for entry level apprentices. Yeah, I mean that would. Well, no, it'd probably be lower here. 25 to 45 for techs, depending on experience. I'm sure guys are making more with commission, and that's another thing. If you guys do residential and you get commission, but you're not gonna see 20s as entry level. You're just not. We hired some people right now, and they understand that they got to start lower, and but they've been doing good. So I mean, we do want to keep them. What is up, Tito? Yes, that's where all the young kids hang out. Wonder how many would get fired. Did you check out our last HVAC nights? The guy that did that, or a guy got fired for doing YouTube, from his company, and we had him on HVAC nights last week, so he could tell us all about it. uh, yeah, but TikTok is a big HVAC channel, or booming, and so a lot of kids. A lot of them, I've talked to a few of them. They do work for like a family member. So I mean, they're cool with it, but it's the ones that work for big companies. They got to be careful. Me and Jake talked about it because I want to record more, and I don't like to wear like the people wear the GoPro on the chest and everything, or the head mount. I can't really show because there's always signs. I can't really show where I'm at. I don't want to show anybody that's like a worker that is at that restaurant, because I don't want to get in trouble. I work for myself, so I won't get in trouble for my boss saying anything. But a lot of my customers watch my videos. They'll be like, "Oh, I've seen you on YouTube and this and that." It's really cool, but like, I don't want to show their building. I don't want to show like their location and how dirty something is, or them with their face on camera. Like, I don't want to get in trouble with any of that. Yeah, I seen the live. He went through the same thing as me. Told it was fine, then got my ass fired. That was that was horrible, dude. He was even told to do it to promote the business. And then I guess they got new ownership or something and they're like, "Well, that's why we're having to let you go because you're it's I don't know. They worded it funny like to make themselves look good, but yeah, that sucks. Anyone using the Meta glasses? I'm super tempted to try them, but again, I can't. Like, if I'm talking to a customer, I don't want that thing recording. I started with no experience at 24 an hour. If you find a good company and they need you, because another thing I was saying is, uh, if it's busy like right now, and they hire you, and I've heard of guys getting 20 something an hour when the company really just needs a good technician, and like we needed extra hands, but now that we're growing, we need like good guys. So we're trying to keep the ones that we get. Yeah, Pat does the meta glasses. I told him because I had talked about like trying to record more, and I was like, man, I'm tempted to get those glasses, but I just don't think it'll work. All right, later, Brian. They're cool, but if you see anybody that records with them like for the whole video, you might get motion sickness because if you move a lot, it looks weird. That 4K can wait a day. Yeah, I don't have the cameras here, but I have that Insta360, the Go 3S. I had the other one before that. There's a couple of different versions, but I got the latest one. And I use that. I'm trying to use that one more because it's so easy to use indoors where I don't want a big camera, walking around. So that's a good one. The Insta360, it's like a body. Yeah, it's probably the one that I have. And what I like about that one is that you can al- alter the footage after the fact. If you want a wide angle or you want to dewarp it, and there's other settings that you can do with it. You can do it after the fact. You don't have to be stuck to what you recorded. Mine is the Insta the Go 3S. There's the Insta 360 Go 2, Insta 360 Go 3, and then there's a 3S. Yeah, and so gas was like 70 cents. Yeah, $9 an hour. Okay, so don't use those. Got it. They drive me crazy watching people use them. Yeah, and they're obvious. They don't look like regular, like they look like regular glasses, but they're thicker. You can see the lens, you can see the light. So like I wouldn't want to wear them, and I have to wear prescription glasses. So or that's what I would want them prescription because going in and out a lot, or transition lenses. But I don't like to wear glasses during work. Yeah, the 3S, yeah. And that one looked really good, especially outside. All right, later, Nathan. Or Ethan, sorry. Most companies still think $25 No, yeah, 25 an hour is like a good. Well, you're in California. That's a whole different thing. Um, to me, you're gonna start under 20. You're gonna get into the 20s pretty quick, and if you can't get out of the 20s, you need to find another company. I think everybody should be making at least 30 something, right? 31, 33, 35. Um, and I did that for a long time, 30ish. And, like I said, I'm not done with my money. I know what to, I know how to save or spend it wisely. So like I never struggled even, at a decent pay, not a great pay. But yeah, it just depends on the area too. Get LASIK. I should. $12 when I started doing residential, then moved over to marine. Now I'm at 35. Probably not. Depend. I don't think they would be like shatterproof or safety glass type. No, I couldn't use meta glasses unless they are readers. Can't see anything without them. I got started at $21 an hour. Still in school in California. Been in the trade 2 years, and I'm at 40. Again, California is very different from where I'm at, but I think that sounds about right. It's probably on par with if you make like 15 to high 20s here. He's here in the chat. There's a big HVAC creator that says he does not let his employees record videos, yet he records them on his videos. Hmm. I feel like I know who that is. I feel like I've heard that before. So now that we're hiring, I don't record any of my guys. I don't do the installs. I don't do if there's multiple people there. I try not to show any of the other guys, even if it's like my brother or my dad might pop out every now and then, but I try not to. So I don't record the other guys at uh at my business. But now that we have new guys, they know of YouTube. They know of the social media stuff. If they want to post, I don't think I care as long as they don't. But if they make a mistake and post it, that's on them, right? You're gonna get chewed up online if you post some crappy work, and then I got to get after you because then I see it. Ooh, 50 an hour in Arizona. That sounds good. Listened to HVAC school, and they were talking about their most technical techs should be making as much as the service manager. It's not how much you make, it's about how much you keep at the end of the day. We all miss the Tito vlogs. Gee, damn, dude. 73 at the Union, barely surviving. That's California. Yeah, take home. Done with training, going out on first solo trip tomorrow. Any word of advice? Don't overthink it. If you've done training, I don't know if you've done any trade school or anything, or how they did your training, but stick to basics. Like there's the worst thing you can do is jump the gun, because even with my guys, I tell them, don't jump to a new compressor. Make sure you check all the stuff in between, and everything has a sequence, right? You have your compressor, and then you can kind of go from there. Discharge, condenser, your fan motors, your safeties, trace all the wiring, whatever you need to do on whatever kind of service call you get. Just don't jump the gun, because once you start thinking ahead, or you get kind of like a tunnel vision, that's going to mess with you pretty bad, because you overthink. And also, if when you go to your calls, Jesus, Brock Lesnar is back in WWE. Who the hell would have known? Um, Damn. Where was I? Yeah, find a process and stick to it. Remember what you learned. Sequence of operation. Yeah, the guys are um, saying some good things in the chat. And then just take it, call at a time. Don't beat yourself up. That was always the worst thing for me, is if I didn't know something, I couldn't figure it out. I remember the days that I struggled. Like, you're new. You're gonna mess up, or you're not gonna know something. If you don't mess up, that's great, because you asked questions, or because you got help when you needed it. But um, yeah, don't take it home with you, and don't stress out about it. And once you get done with one, get on to the next one, and focus on the next one. Well, I have the SummerSlam is still going on, dude. It was what time did it start? It's 4 hours ago it started. I have the TV on just to see what's going on with it. After an hour call. Well, don't be afraid to call anybody. That's the big thing there, is I was stubborn to to figure it out, and not call anybody, and not ask for help, not call tech support. So yeah, if you get there and you are really lost, it's something you've never seen, it's something this and that. Like, obviously, you can find a manual online. That's a good thing now, is scan that, get that nameplate, get that model number, look it up, take a break. And if it doesn't make any sense to you, just call somebody to kind of walk you through it. Call tech support. And just, if you do call tech support, make sure you have a basic understanding of what you're looking at. Like, what's the problem? What kind of unit is it? What is it doing? So that they can help you out. Damn. Lesnar and Cena. Jeez. Yeah, no problem. I'm on board the high maintenance, high performance HVAC train. If you're asking me, I just contacted them. I'm waiting to see if they're. I think they finally updated everything, as far as it worked in Measure Quick first, and then they finally got. I think they're finally fixing their app to work with the NavVac probes properly, where you can see everything on the screen, which it didn't work before. And I think the last thing they needed to fix was the magnets. They said once that is all fixed, if I want to check them out. So if any of that comes over and I get to test it out, because I bought them and I returned them, because I didn't want, I don't know, it was $700. I didn't want $700 sitting in the garage. Because I did buy them originally. So if I do get them again, I'll review them. I'll let you guys know if they're worth the money on the next review that I do as far as like probes, which would be like those. We'll also do, because I forgot to do like a, what do you call it? The testos. Yeah, I mean that's a good one too. What I forgot to do was the range test. I had an idea for that, but I ended up returning them and I completely forgot. So when we get those, hopefully they're fixed because I do like them. And we can do a range test and all that. And then I'm also waiting on JB because I broke my JB probes. They're gonna replace them. They're replacing. If you guys have any broken JB probes, make sure I'm sure you do, but just make sure you let them know because I mean those are not cheap either. And oh yeah, Parts Town is great for manuals. That one usually pops up everything that we need in the kitchen, refrigeration stuff, that kind of thing. But JB is replacing everybody's probes with a new version if they broke on you because they're changing the material because they shouldn't have used Fisher Price plastic. So once they fix that, I might try those again. But I do have JB probes in my tool pouch, and they they're cracked, but they work. Testo probes for 5 and 6 years, no issues. Waiting on the review on the Hvac, running Testos right now. Tried and true field piece. Oh, later, Kitchen Cowboy. I just saw your comment. Adrian, you never mentioned the Hillmore battery pump. Saw you use the last video. Thoughts? It's good. If I need, if I'm working on a small equipment, so I ran a 2 CFM pump for the longest time, and it was fine. Now that I have the Hillmore and I have the Milwaukee battery pump, I I do favorite the Milwaukee pump because it is bigger, and you know the Hillmore one I will use it on small repairs or small equipment. I probably won't be using it on any of the bigger like RTUs and stuff like that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It works pretty well for what it is, a 2 CFM. What I want to do is upgrade my hoses. I personally don't like the blue hoses, the True Blue. So I don't use those anymore. But I think, I've been using 3/8. I need to get something a little bit better. I know Hvac has a few bigger sizes and things like that. So I do want to upgrade my vacuum, like the hoses I use and all that kind of stuff, and see if that helps. You know, especially with the 2 CFM, bringing that one and using it more. But I have no issues with it. I like it. It's super small. It's great for kitchen work, things like that. And it does pull down if you have the right hoses. Don't use a manifold. Well, I will say the JB ones, they stayed in the tool bag. I didn't even drop them. Should I buy the Vito CTXL Cargo? Um, If you carry a lot of motors and stuff to the roof, I think it's worth it. I do carry like spare things in there, but like I mostly use it when I have a bunch of parts to change out. So if I'm changing out like more than one condenser motor, um, things like that, or I got to throw a bunch of like stuff in there, that's when it's worth it. Or if you need to take it in somewhere, I don't know. It's just an easy bag to throw a bunch of stuff in, and I still use it mostly for condenser motors to rope them up. Uh, they told me nothing changes, but you know how that is. So I hope the quality doesn't change, but I'm curious to see. Like my concern is that hopefully the price cannot go up, right? They're already expensive as it is. I think they're right where they need to be. G- Bringing the price down would be great, but they're right where they are. If they were any more, they nobody would, or not enough people would buy them. So I hope the quality stays the same. I just don't know if like I'm hoping the promotions are still there, the deals are still there, things like that. So that's what I'm worried about, I think more. And the warranty, the 5-year warranty. Hopefully that all of that hopefully stays the same and we don't have to worry about it. Humble opinion, what is the best leak detector? Oh wait, let me go back to this one. Seen that video this morning about the JB probes, good looking out. I told my homie about your review. He was going to buy them. Fisher Price, yeah. If you are gonna buy them, wait until you hear about like anybody. Like I should get them too because they're replacing mine. But wait till you hear about the newer version and if those are any better because these broke way too easy. Humble opinion: what is the best leak detector? There's two that I like. Now I have not tried Infocon, but I do like their older leak detectors. So I'm pretty sure some people can vouch for um what is it? The Stratus, the Infocon. I think it's great if you want to spend more and and they're really good about warranty. I know that, but I don't have it. So what's worked for me is I like infrared leak detectors. So field piece, and they just came out with a new one, but the DR82 was good for me. I did like it. It did work. I think it worked very well. The one that I trust the most, I wish they would update the charger and a few things on it because it's very like it's borderline outdated. Is the Hillmore infrared leak detector? I trust that one a lot, and that's the one that I'm going to run right now. I'm gonna give one of the guys the field piece. So I'm running the Hillmore leak detector. So I mean, with between those two, I like them both. I trust the Hillmore one a little bit more. I just wish they would update to like a USB-C port and a few other things, but it works great. It does what it needs to. Now, I will say, if you are leaning towards Hillmore, they do sponsor me, but I'm always honest with you guys. Elitech, their infrared is the same exact thing. It's just painted orange. So, we have. I got an Elitech actually, and I gave it to one of our guys, and they said it works fine. That they are able to, yeah, the DR82. They are able to find leaks with the Elitech. I've never seen an issue with that one. It is the same as the Hillmore one. Bought the Hillmore for the small R290 systems. I've only used it once. Well, they're good at making pumps. At least, there's that. JB. No, I have not. I might be able to get my hands on the UEI one. The Parker Sporlan, I don't really see a point. In my opinion, I'll have to look into them again. I didn't really I don't think they were the easiest to carry around. I might get the UEI ones. I kind of do want to try the yellow jacket ones. But we'll see. I've never used any of those before though. Yeah, that one, I mean honestly if I might just end up getting that new field piece leak detector cuz it does R290. The JB I've always had the field piece. I had a yellow jacket before as far as recovery machines. I'm tempted to try others. So you think the JB one is better? The Appion one, I feel like everybody was on that train for a while, and then people were saying that there was better ones out there. So I'd never bought the Appion one. I had the yellow jacket recovery, and then the field piece, and I stayed with the field piece because it's easy to carry. But I know Hillmore makes one. I know Navac is the one that makes supposedly the smallest, lightest one out there. I'll stick to my. I'll stick to Infocon. We found out, Tito, that he's the one undercover for Infocon. So if anybody says anything bad about Infocon, Rick's gonna be uh on you about it. Yeah, he still does videos. He's always posting. Yeah, that is cool. I saw some guys that switched over to the Stratus, and you just change out the sensor. So like it is cool. It's just I got to tell people that's an investment. Because I get asked for recommendations a lot. So the Inficon Stratus, I got to tell people like that's an investment if you want to go down that route, and people swear by them. So I mean, I don't think it's a bad recommendation, but I've bought in cheaper ones that work, good. Yeah, that field piece one does everything apparently. Hit the like Freon says. Appreciate all you guys. Almost done building my loadout. All I need is a recovery machine. Uh, yeah, they're expensive. Really? I didn't even know that. I was pretty adamant when I did the Navac probe review. I felt like that was kind of I feel like batteries are still necessary in certain tools. So in my probes, I think I'd rather change out the battery. In my meter, I think I'd rather have a battery. And in the leak detector, I had a couple of calls recently, like last week, where my leak detector and my meter, because I do have a rechargeable like cheap meter that I got, and that meter and my leak detector died on a call. I was like, crap, I got to go charge them. I can't even use them anymore. So I do think batteries are much better for like those situations, like being able to change it out and then get back to work is pretty clutch because they don't last as long as they say they do. I know I follow NorCal Dave, and those flex gauges by Navac, he's already, I think, what did he use them for, like a week or two, maybe a week, and he already had to charge them. They don't last as long as they advertise. You always take those things with a grain of salt because even when I reviewed those gauges, and I gave them away, but when I review those gauge when I did review those gauges, that's probably a standby, whatever they like, however many hours they say, that's a standby. When you use them, you want the display on, so you're constantly like turning it on and stuff like that. So I figured those wouldn't last on the on a charge. JB should put those version 1 probes on a closeout after version 2 comes out. The deal would pay for regular price and get 2 sets, one to use and one to throw away after 2 weeks. Oh, that's an easy question. Refrigeration all day. Um, I only do HVAC because I was asked to also check like ACs while I was there. I'm a refrigeration technician. I prefer to be on a walk-in box all day, reaching coolers. I love that stuff. The worst part of it is being in the tight kitchens because I do restaurant work, but I'd rather, yeah, Mike knows. I'd rather be on a walk-in box or in a freezer eh, versus a RTUs are not that bad, but like I hate split systems in commercial. I hate drop ceilings, and refrigeration is very freaking Tito. Um, refrigeration is very cut and dry. You got these components, you got to make sure they all work versus HVAC where it's like your duct, your airflow, so many other things could be causing it to not work. And if you have those blinders on, you're not going to figure it out. Like it's going to take you much longer. So just I enjoy refrigeration, um, coolers and freezers. I even like ice machines over AC work. Oh, you got the Hilmer one. I've been tempted to try that one too. The Hilmer recovery. Tito just they just we should just see them, right? Oh yeah, we got our guys some of the bigger Navac pumps. I don't think we got the 12. I think we got the 7 or 8 and they were really good. Blower door kit next for my toolkit. Yeah. It's not rechargeable is cool if it's a small item or it's like if it charges quickly or you don't use it that often. If it's a heavy use product, give me the batteries, you know. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple months. Hogan, Osborne, Malcolm, Jamal Warner, and now Lonnie Anderson. Anybody going to the NCI summit? I don't think it's a secret that I have to keep, but I will be at the Milwaukee Pipeline. I'm super honored to do that. I'll try to do some content. I've never been. I don't know what to expect, and I'm going to be doing some stuff with them, working with them for some content for them while I'm there at the pipeline. So I won't be at the NCI Summit, but I'll be at Milwaukee Pipeline, and then I'll be at the AHR Expo in February. I think it is. Yeah, why? Yeah, they last a long time. That's what I'm saying. Like on the leak detector, I didn't mind it. It just sucks when it happens, but like I don't mind it on the leak detector. It's like the meters and the probes that I would rather have the batteries. Same. Refrigeration. Ooh, yeah. I'll definitely ask them about that. Um, oh, it's in Austin this time. Or I don't know if I think it moves around, right? Waiting on the Milwaukee. That's what we're going to talk about. They want to talk about what what it is to be an HVAC tech, what tools help HVAC techs, and what we want to see from Milwaukee. That's kind of the direction we're going in for the content that we're supposed to work together on at the pipeline. So we'll get to all that, man. I'm excited to go out there. Milwaukee Recovery Machine, the that's advertised but not available. Vaporware. Speaking of batteries, my mouse just died. That it's at their at it's in Milwaukee. It's at their place. They have their own area for it. So it's just like where they demo tools. Just think of I don't know if you've seen it, but just think of like an AHR Expo or a trade show of all these different setups for Milwaukee tools, and you get to test them out and kind of do. Oh, you'll be there for Labor Day. They're doing well. It's this month. Um, you get to demo everything, and you get to talk to them, interview them. They do podcasting and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be cool. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna ask them, are you guys gonna do any gauges or probes or anything else? Because they seem very interested in the HVAC space. Obviously, they made a vacuum pump. They made a recovery machine that's not out yet, and they do have like plumbing tools that we use, right? The tubing cutters and all that kind of stuff. The reamers. They have snips. You know, they have sheet metal tools and stuff like that. So I do want to ask them, like, are you ever going to get into any of the maybe the probes, right? I don't know about the manifolds, but maybe the probes or something like that. Be kind of neat. Does your pop still work with us? Yes, I'm trying to get him out of the field. We're currently talking about um me completely taking over. We kind of had a discussion about that. He's still very much in the field. He's very much taking calls. You know, he works on cooking equipment, so he's out there working on fryers and all that kind of stuff, the steamers, the ovens. I get after him that he still does too much, but oh yeah. Um but he's learning. He needs to kind of step back a little bit, and I want him to help me train like the new guys, right? So that's the whole thing. We never wanted to hire, and now we are hiring, so we need to focus on training and setting them up and, doing that kind of stuff. Tell Milwaukee to make HVAC gauges, recovery, and all that, and have it fit in the pack outs. Yeah. Yeah. I love pack out. Sea of red. Yeah, like that's his whole thing is he doesn't want like I don't mind him slowing down. I don't think he would want to um I wouldn't want him to stop. Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it. I don't want him to completely stop. I do want him out there. I do want him traveling and working on some things. I would just like him to leave the hard calls. Like I don't want him on the rooftop ever, but leave the hard calls to the other guys or me or my brother, or work with an apprentice that he can teach and do all the heavy lifting, but he can still, get down and work and, stay active because he's told me that if he stops, he's going to lose it. He's going to be bedridden, right? He's going to be not able to move or this and that. So like I don't want him to completely stop. He just needs to not do all the hard stuff. Later, Eddie. We're gonna close it out anyway. Uh how booked up? Lately I have not been booked up. I have a list. I have guys that are interested and I just kind of go down the list. Um Email me and let me know. I've been talking to people. I'm like 2 weeks out. So I record on the weekends. If anybody's interested in being on, you can email me. Anybody in the chat, if you guys ever want to be on the podcast, just let me know. I really do like the ones that volunteer, but I'll go out and find some people when I can. Those are always fun. So if you have a suggestion, anybody that's interested, just let me know, Sam, and I'll get them on soon. I don't have a long wait list. I have people that I want to get on. I just haven't asked. All right, Modern Comfort. See ya. I take a 3-day vacation every month. You need to take some time off. I take half days when I can, and but I was talking about that with somebody. It's like when I get an office day or a half day to catch up on errands or business related stuff. I consider that like an off day because I'm not in the field. It's not labor intensive. And was that the attic thing? Was that the guy in the attic? Um, so I consider those days like my days off. Like I realistically I work every day, but if I'm working on the computer, I don't think it's the same thing. It's overwhelming and stressful, but I try to relax when I can. Like today, I relaxed. I don't even think I did paperwork today, so it was a nice day off. I did hear about somebody who passed away in an attic, and I was gonna look into it. I just haven't. If I can find the article, I'll bring it up on HVAC nights, and we can talk about it there because we had literally just talked about heat exhaustion, and on one of my last podcast, we talked about heat exhaustion, and you got to be careful. I don't know if it's that one. I don't know if it is a different one, but that's the one that I had heard about. I've seen this brand pop up. Sourman. I don't know how to say that. I'm interested. That's when you go to AHR and you actually look around. There's so many brands that I've never heard of or seen, and they got probes and gauges and press fittings and press tools and all this stuff. Oh, one on a commercial roof. Holy crap! I'll have to look into it. It was on my list of things to look into because I had quickly seen something on Instagram. Somebody talk about it. You're working, but you're not working. Yeah, it's not. It's a little bit different. Heat or electrocution? The one in the attic was heat. Well, obviously, right? But I don't know about the commercial roof one. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to close it out. I appreciate you guys for coming out here. I was going to try and keep it short, but we had a really good conversation. I appreciate all the questions. Um, oh, well, don't worry, Sam. Just let me know who it is and I'll reach out. I reach out to people all the time. I just didn't know what you meant. And let me know who it is. I've already taken down some suggestions from people like in the chat. Um, shouldn't be, yeah, it shouldn't be in an attic for sure. Um, I've already taken down suggestions and I have them there. I just, when I have time, I need to reach out. So if you have a suggestion, I can reach out to them and talk to them. And it can be any trade, HVAC or anything else. Yeah, when I'm that close or close in that age, I'm not gonna be up there. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. And I'm just gonna end it. I don't have an outro. See you guys.